Welcome to HDR's Coffee in the Morning, and just give us a comment, like and subscribe. We'll have a good conversation today.
Thank you, Mike.
No eating dirt this Saturday. We're sticking around for coffee with HDR.
So, good morning. You are watching Coffee Time with HDR. Enjoy.
Oops. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back once again to another edition of Coffee with HDR. A little trouble with the introduction, a little trouble with the cameras there this morning, but anyway, yeah, man, good morning, welcome back. This is Coffee with HDR, show number 131 for Saturday, July 22nd, 2023, and it is the longest running motorcycle live stream on YouTube. You know, that's to be something to be lived up to, right? And something that I am very proud of, to be truthful with you there, about being able to provide these shows to you every Saturday morning, and occasionally hiccup every now and then. There's going to be another one, I believe, in August or September. I have another college day, but we'll talk about that when we get there. That's a far way away. And I'm not really concerned with that stuff right now. So, again, another morning coffee with HDR. A lot to talk about today. A lot to go over with everybody there. Unfortunately, little negativity, but I'm not going to bring that to the show because it's a very positive show. And I try to be always humble and kind. That's me. Always humble and kind. Ah, there you go. There you go. So, let's go up here and say our good mornings to everybody and get started. I'm trying to get comfortable in the chair. Sorry there's little hiccups this morning. You know, when you go from an on-location shoot and you bring all your equipment back into your studio, you set it all up, there's going to be some hiccups, and it's just going to happen. Roguelite Andy, I don't know if he's in here yet or not. He did send me a clip late last night. I didn't have an opportunity to put it into the queue this morning to show you guys. Because I got to do some doctoring on it. Guys, I do ask if you send me a clip in, please make sure it's at least, 30 to 45 seconds, a minute. A minute is good for a little, welcome to Coffee with HDR, some of that stuff. So when you send and then Roguelite Andy was very nice. He sent it in. It was like a 15-second clip, so I got to add some stuff to it to build it out a little bit. So that's why I didn't show it this morning. All right, let's go up here and talk to everybody, and we'll get started. Good morning, Jarvis Biker, who was first this morning. It doesn't show me what time you logged in there, but hey, welcome. Welcome to Smyrna Cowboy. I got a couple of little words of wisdom, words of messages there from Smyrna Cowboy. I had a great chat with him. And I'll talk to you about that. Captain Ed, good morning. Today I'm 79 years old. For my birthday, I'm going on a long ride and enjoy the day. Captain Ed says, first though, I got to watch Coffee with HDR. If Smyrna Cowboy can put the president on hold, he said I can put my ride on hold. But 79 years old, bless you, my friend, and have a great, great ride. Jeff Rice, good morning. Smyrna Cowboy, happy birthday to Captain Ed. Everybody say happy birthday to Captain Ed. Be the Rider PA's in the house this morning. The Real Jackie Boys here. The Dusty Chronicles. Bob Nelson, good morning, Bob. Payne's Rides. Harley 103, HDAV Traveler. Dean C is in the house. Danny Cristana, good morning. Payne's Rise, Real Jackie Boy. I sold the Victory. Actually, not totally bikeless. I still have the Enduro bike. Goodbye to the Vic. Oh, we never knew you at all, but we love the victory. Now, Payne's Rides don't have it no more. Payne's Rides, just because it breaks down at time doesn't mean you should sell it. Well, or should you? There's a preemptive of some stuff to come here from the HDR garage. Ron Kelly, good morning to you. Debbie's in the house. My sister, good morning to Debbie. Harley Cruiser 66, good morning to you. Jim Wilson, good morning. Ty from Tennessee, how you doing this morning? Glad to have you on board there with us today. Ricky KM, good morning to you. Doug, good morning to Doug. Nice to have you in there with us this morning. Mini Moto, my friend Jerry, who we got to chat a lot during a stop at VAM, and we got to hang out together for a while and chit chat about his beautiful Pan America, and also you're probably going to be seeing a video of mine where Mini Moto actually, yeah, he video bombed me, man. I'm recording this video walking through this museum, and he's behind me doing all the woo, and yeah, Jerry's just an awfully nice guy, man. If you're not checking out his channel, I suggest that you go over and check out Mini Moto. Ty from Tennessee say, yeah, man, I'm in Crossville, Tennessee this morning. Already up and moving, dude. Wow, you guys are something else. Let's all have a sing-along. Ready? No. Road Glide Andy, good morning to you. Payne's Rides, 10 years and 78,000 miles. It was time to move on. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was time. Road Glide Andy and Mini Moto. All right. Got a good group of people in here this morning. And so let's start off with the hat. Okay? The hat. Very weird conception there with the hat. I was trying to remedy it this morning. What I'm thinking is my camera is not straight. So the camera is off. So it always throws my hat off. I was fishing with my buddy Henry yesterday, and Kike, he goes by on YouTube. If you check out his YouTube channel, it's the Kike Fishing Network. And he says, hey, man, he says, how come every show your hat, you always have a problem with your hat? And then, guys, I was looking at a YouTube video I did the other day in the garage, and my hat was crooked. I must have a crooked head. I got a forever crooked head, and I think that's what's going on here. The Real Jackie Boy said, morning, Ty, did you buy another bike yet? I talk about Ty in one of my upcoming videos. I'm going to tell you about some videoing I did yesterday. No, Thursday. I'll talk about that. Painter said, Harley Day Rider, no worries. Just wait till you see what's most likely coming next. It's almost funny. It's going to be ironic. And let me tell you, Paints Rods, I got to check out the Road Glide CVO the other day. Man, you're going to have a beautiful bike in your garage. And I'm going to be envious. I really am. I think it's worth every bit of the $54,000. I really do. It's got a new dash. It's got a built-in garage door opener on the new CVO. Boy, what a great touch Harley is figuring out to put on these motorcycles. You just touch the high beam light and the garage door goes up. What? Like, I got to fumble in my little box and get my garage door opener and push it. Oh, my goodness. If I could have it built in, that's worth the money right there, right? And some other cool stuff that Be The Rider PA was showing me at the dealership the other day. So, good morning, Rocky J. Yeah, Rogue Gladiator said, it's the hat and we accept it. Good. I appreciate that. Toby Northern's in the house. Good morning, Toby Northern. Did you change your name back? Is it Toby? I know you were going through some name variation there, and we'll talk about rebranding a channel because you know what? I think that's really, really difficult. A lot of you guys are YouTubers, and some of you are not, and that's great. That's fine. So anyway, where shall we start? Let's start at the very top of this show because last week I did my show Saturday morning. I did the show, and was that Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. Saturday I did the show from a location, right, from Tazewell, Virginia. So if you didn't see that show, you might want to go back. People love the on-location shows because I take the gear with me. I set cameras up. Rogue Glide Andy got to see that. I have a certain microphone I set up to give me a decent audio. And the internet was just good enough at the house where I was able to broadcast. So we were able to put it out there. Paytrud said, I have a shed. No need for a garage door opener for $56,000. Well, that's probably a good point, right? You don't need to worry about that building garage door opener. It will also open. I did hear this from a gentleman that I watch. Wrenching and wrenching and riding. I think he goes by. Awesome YouTuber, and he bought the CVO. And he said also you can program it to open up the gates in your community. You know, when you're leaving, if you got those big gates, you can hit a button on the CVO and those gates will open. So it's worth it, Pains Roads. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Harley 103. Good morning to you. So anyways, so Saturday at VAM, after I did the show, we went out, we did some amazing riding, and we went to Applebee's for dinner. We were all going to go back to Mr. G's house, which you've probably seen some of the videos. If you haven't, check out Mr. G's channel because he does a lot of videos. Of course, now if you notice, there's one at, you know, the first rest stop on the back of the Dragon. Everybody was putting stickers on. He interviewed everybody there but me. And I put that out there right now, and I was kind of disappointed when I watched the video. He never came over and said, who are you, where you're from. So that's okay. Because you know why? Honestly, I was out videoing. I was actually doing some video clips with some other folks and walking around talking to some people. So if you are ever, I changed back to my original name. There you go, Toby. There you go. That's the way to do it. You know, Toby Northern, the name Toby Northern on YouTube is famous, Toby. You don't want to rebrand it. You know, I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. I'll talk about that a little bit here. We got plenty of time this morning to talk, and plenty of thoughts and plenty of conversations. So anyway, so we went to Applebee's to eat Saturday because everybody was starved by that time. And we came out. Mr. G wanted to go back to his house to record a video at the shed, which if you've never been to Mr. G's property, I would suggest to go. He's a very, very nice gentleman. He's very open. And he loves motorcyclists. And you know, everybody got in his shed. We did a video on Wednesday, but I didn't go back up Friday. Myself and Mrs. HDR said, no, we're going to leave and we're going to head back to the house because it's going to storm, right? This big storm's coming in, massive storm. So on our way back, we knew that the Smyrna Cowboy wanted to meet us at dinner that night. And if you want to know why, watch his videos. Go to the Smyrna Cowboy and check out his videos. I'm not going to tell you why. I'm going to leave that one to you, right? That's a hook, right? There's a hook for you, Smyrna Cowboy. Go and check out his channel and watch his videos. The first video is very interesting because Smyrna Cowboy interviews people as his camera is pointing to the sky. And the one person he did get in the video, somehow she was able to get the right angle, was the lovely Mrs. HDR. I paused it and I said, come in there, come in there, come in there. You're famous. You're on the Smyrna Cowboy channel. She's like, no way. And I said, yeah. And she came in and he's actually talking to her and got Mrs. HDR on camera. So I said, once you're on the Smyrna Cowboy channel, you are famous. Now, everybody else, now, your voices are there, but maybe or maybe not, your faces may not be there. But he was wearing a chest camera, which is awesome. Smyrna for fishing, maybe not so awesome but he knew why. He knew what he did. But sir, I congratulate you. You know, most people, well, you know, maybe wouldn't use that video, but you did. You did, and I appreciate you doing that because it shows that us as content creators, we can have hiccups, right? Things can go wrong, and that's perfectly fine that it did because you have the content itself in there. So. Mike Bodine is out on the Route 66 trip. We'll talk a few minutes about that here. Minimoto said, man, I should have went to the shed. Yeah, Minimoto, I don't know why you didn't go to the shed. You got the right bike to go up the mountain to Mr. G's house. And you pull across his yard. Man, we pulled all those, oh my God. We pulled all those touring bikes across the yard, and I got Mrs. HR in the back, and I'm riding through grass, and I'm like, oh, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. You're going to look bad. You're going to look bad. But we got around there, and it was okay. So we got around there, and we parked the bikes. But was I gravel-tized? Probably, because the next time I really didn't want to go back up, but I would now. Like I said, Mr. G's a great guy, so check that out. So Smyrna Cowboy, Smyrna, I used one, shot in 4:3. You can adjust the widescreen later. Oh, that's cool. He could adjusted the screen later. Smyrna Cowboy said, thanks, HDR. Yeah, so there's some hooks. Go over and check out his videos. You're going to be very interested in those. So instead, we went to Smyrna Cowboy's hotel room. Now I know that may sound a little, but anyway, that was his home. When we were away, Smyrna Cowboy made a great point, and we talked about that at his hotel a little bit. When you go away, like we rented an Airbnb, that was our home for 4 days, right? That was where we went back to relax, to kick our shoes off, put your feet up, and relax a little bit, watch TV or watch YouTube videos like we did. So we were there for a while. And Mrs. HDR goes, "Hey, is it raining?" And it sounded like the rain started. And I looked out his windows. Yep, it's pouring down rain out there pretty good already. So we went outside. We got our rain gear off the bike, and always carry rain gear. We put the rain gear on. Smyrna Cowboy was very apologetic, like because he kept us too long. And buddy, I could have stayed there and talked to you until midnight. We could have kept you awake and hung out and just chatted with you, because if you've never talked to this young man, I tell you what, he's all you guys, and I've met most of you guys now. It's real people meeting real people, right? It's not the YouTube cameras. It's not that we got to worry about how we say something, or we don't want to offend anybody. Or when you meet person to person, you say something, it may slip up, and I'll be like, "Who in the heck are you?" That's not the same guy I see on camera. And it's not that we change who we are on camera. We just we use better English. How about that? So we hung out with him for a while. We went out. We put on our rain gear. Good morning to Bodine 52. We got on our rain gear. We are hearing every other word, Jack. Why are you hearing every other word? That doesn't make any sense. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Everybody else have good audio? Nobody else has been saying something out there. So let's see here. We'll see if anybody else says anything here. I don't think I have anything else open. No, everything should be running okay. Stream looks fine. So, okay. So Road Glide Andy said coming in clear. Cutting in and out. Audio is off. Pete's Moto Adventures. He doesn't get any audio. Sounds good for me. Dean C says, yes, breaking up a little. Good morning to Mr. G, 1965. He's in there. Audio is good. Yes, you guys, if your audio is bad, you may want to reboot your computer. Good morning to Blue Buzzard Motorsports. Good morning to Mr. Nelson. Bob Nelson's in the house. Minnie Mo said, yep, it's good. And I'm in the dealership parking lot. That's good. Rocky J. I and out. I don't know what that means. HDV Traveler, good morning. Okay, I'm just looking here. Everything seems to be running okay. Yeah. I don't really want to stop the stream now. If I stop the stream now and restart it, we're going to have a bad time. Smyrna Cowboy said audio is fine. Yeah, so if you guys are having a little bit of audio troubles, just check. You may want to reboot your computer and square that away. The timing might be off just a little bit or something there. So anyway, let's get back to it. Thanks, Bob, though, for throwing that out there. Mr. G said, just looking out the window, getting ready to rain. It seems like that's the motto of the year, getting ready to rain. I just restarted my app. It's fine now, HDV Traveler. Okay, that's fine. Rebooted, helped the audio. There you go, Bob. Thanks, man. Okay. So there you go. All right, good. So we're squared away. All right, so it started to rain. We went out, we put on our rain gear, and we jump on the bike and we head out. So we're going down the road a little piece there. We're getting closer to Tazewell, Virginia, because the hotels are probably about, I would guess, guys, I don't know, 10 miles away, roughly, from town, from where our Airbnb was. We get up over top of this little highway piece, and the skies decided to let loose. I geared down to like 5th gear and started putting along. And Mrs. HDR was a trooper, absolute trooper. Never once said, pull over to the gas station, let's get undercover. We just went for it. You know, we could see a little lightning flashing in the distance. We're like, we're going to be just fine. So we went down, and I told her, the Airbnb we stayed at, and most of them that, well, not really most of them, some of them have gravel driveways. Jackie Boy found it out. And from Jackie Boy, when I rented the Airbnb for this past week, I actually messaged the lady, and they're very good. People will respond to you very well. And I said, look, what kind of driveway do you have? I did a Google image search and I looked at the driveway, right? But even Google image doesn't show you like hills, okay? So when you came off the hardball, there was a little gravel hill that came down, and they have like a gravel road, I guess the houses are on, right? But it was packed down. It was really, really tight. The only trick was coming over the hill. So if you've ever watched aircraft carriers and aircraft pilots, when they say catching the ball, right, when they're going to catch the ball, the idea is the hook's coming down and their plane grabs the ball. And I told Miss HR, I said, I've never tried to catch the ball in the rain. I said, so just, don't move. I'm going to make this turn, because you had to come up, you had to make a left turn, and you had to make it wide so you can get kind of to the middle, because you didn't want to be on the edge of the hill and go down it. That would be bad. So I was able to get in there in the rain and we get the bike parked. The night before that, we got back late. I had to catch the ball with in darkness with my headlight. And I can tell you guys something. You may or may not have watched my video about the Custom Dynamics headlight. And I was telling Road Glide Andy about that too when we got there. Now, since I put that headlight on the bike, I'll admit that I have not really had the bike out at night. I don't ride much at night. I don't have a reason to, right? And hence, Harley Day rider, right? Most of the time I ride in the daytime. So I don't really have a need to ride at night. But we were in pitch black, myself and Miss HDR. We're going down this road, and if you've never been in Tazewell, Virginia, every single roadway, every single yard has deer in it. There's probably more deer population than there are people in Tazewell, Virginia. That's true. There was a lot of deer. So we're driving down this road at night. On the Custom Dynamic headlight, I hit the high beams. Guys, girls, it lit up the sides of the road. I mean, we could see, even Miss HDR said, wow, that's an amazing headlight. Holy cow. Because I've never really tested it at night, right? I know I did the install video, and I showed everybody about the headlight, and it was really amazing. We were able to see anything coming up, and I mean, it was far down the road. So, now, is the low beam probably comparable to the stock? Probably. I would say it's pretty comparable. From the front, it looks brighter because it's LEDs and it's really powerful. But from what you can see behind the bars, it really looks about normal. But when we kicked on that high beam, man, it was just amazingly bright. Like, everything was bright, right? So is it worth the money? And this is not a product placement by any means for Custom Dynamics. But so any replacement headlight, is it worth the upgrade? Yeah, man, it was worth the upgrade to put that in, to take the time and to install that headlight. So, yeah, it was basically a 30-foot U-turn to get into that truck. Yeah, and you're right. So, Jarvis Biker said, it was an interesting driveway adventure for sure, Jack. Jarvis Biker did come out one evening and he honored us by coming out to the house. He walks in and we were able to, have one beer together because he had to ride back. We did offer him a place to stay. We said, buddy, if you drink, you can just sit here and drink a case of beer with us and just stay on the couch, man. And he absolutely said he has to go back, to the hotel because that's where all his stuff's at. So I get it. Toby Northern, you all ride safe today. Ty from Tennessee, get everyone on the first bump for me. I don't know what that is. Jamon's in there. If it's LED, the same as stock, Vergus is concerned. I'm just saying that the low beam is comparable to your stock low beam on your headlight, but the high beam is like 5 high beams on a stock motorcycle. So anyway, Toby Norton says smash that like button. I would appreciate that. Everybody smash that like button. And if you guys ever noticed, Bodine said Custom Dynamic goes ditch to ditch. There you go. That's a good way to say it, Bob. Yeah. Ditch to ditch, side to side. lights up everything. Awesome, awesome, awesome light. He was being a rebel and rode to dinner with no helmet. Yeah. So here, I'm trying to get my thoughts in order. I probably should take notes before I do these shows. Yeah. So Jarvis Biker did ride to dinner with no helmet, just with the ball cap, and he found that in Virginia, Virginia has a helmet law, so you have to wear a helmet in Virginia. Now, Jarvis, being he has diplomatic immunity because he's from another country, they really couldn't arrest him on anything anyway, especially a helmet. So with diplomatic immunity, if you don't know what that is, that means you can get away with stuff that Americans can't because you don't know, because you're from some other country. So he didn't know. I talked to him. He said he believed, again, this is different laws, right? He thought that everything below New York City was helmetless. All the states below New York City. We had a chit chat. He knows now that every state has its own policy. So, check the local policies before you go without a helmet. But anyway. Or always keep one of those little, if you have room, especially on trips, those little brain covers, the little quarter helmets, keep one of those in your saddlebag. I mean, they cost you about $20. It will make the local law officials happy that you have something on your head, and just in case of emergencies. Motor Rambling, good morning. Glad to have you on board there. And we got to meet the ever famous, ever popular Motor Rambling, and great guy. Got to hang out, got to chat for a while, and that's the biggest part of meetups is getting to hang out and chat with people, go to dinner with them. Riding is okay, but riding is such a personal thing. As myself, Motor Rambling, Mini Moto, Smyrna Cowboy, Harley Moon Rider, all these great YouTubers out there. My Dun Life was there with his wife. As you're riding across the mountaintop, you're not talking, right? It's kind of like when they said, if you ever want to really not have to talk to a person when you're just starting to date them, take them to the movies, right? Because you can't talk in a movie. That's the worst place to take someone on a first date because you can't get to know each other. If you really want to not get to know each other on a moto meetup, go on a motorcycle ride because you can't talk to each other. But when we got to hang out at the stops were nice because we all got to chit chat. We would have like a half hour, 40-minute stop, and we got to just walk around, talk to people. And I think that's so important. Great to hang out with you at OWN and VAM. Motor Rambling, yeah, it was just super nice. And that's what these meetups are for. Superman Kevin out of Canada. And I never give the province because I don't know where all these guys live. Jarvis Biker is easy because if you think Jarvis's biker's name is because his last name is Jarvis or his first name is Jarvis, you would be wrong. He lives in Jarvis, Canada. I don't know where that is, but that's what he told us. So, all right. So, with that said, let me go ahead and play my little intro. And good morning, everybody, once again. If I didn't get your name in there, I will go back through here and try to see you. Or, throw up a little chat thing there as I'm watching and say, hey, I'm here. So, but yeah, welcome, everybody. Great turnout this morning. I truly appreciate that. All right, hold on.
Welcome to HDR's Coffee in the Morning, and just give us a comment, like and subscribe. We'll have a good conversation today.
Thank you, Mike.
No eating dirt this Saturday. We're sticking around for coffee with HDR.
So, good morning. You are watching Coffee Time with HDR. Enjoy.
All right, there you go. There's some of the great guys I was just talking about. Mike Bodine, Payne's Rides, right? Saddlebag. Now, if you don't know who Saddlebag is the Canadian that tried to steal my name. He tried to steal HDR. He said that United States HDR guy is doing, he's a pretty good guy. He's a nice YouTuber, so I want to be like him. So I'm going to call myself HDR. Now, what he did was he changed the name instead of Harley Day Rider. Obviously, couldn't use that. He calls himself Harley Diners and Rides. Okay. Now, Harley, and he rides a Harley. He goes to diners, him and his wife, and they ride on their motorcycle. Now, I told him he has to rebrand a little bit. He has to change his name to HDRC for the Canadian edition so people don't get us confused, right? So I'm just saying. And I don't really want to change my name to HDR USA because that's too long, right? Doesn't sound good. Doesn't have that ring to it. So that was about all that. Let's go back, think a little bit here, Jack, what you're talking about. Just real quick, I'm just going to touch on a little bit because Toby Northern brought it up there. And rebranding your YouTube channels, guys. You know, I tried it. I tried to change my channel to HDR Adventures. That didn't go over too well, right? It would be like changing Seinfeld's name, who's world-renowned comedian, to Jarfield or Louisfield. They'd be like, "Who's Louisfield?" You wouldn't know him, right? So I think we get picked out, motovloggers especially, maybe anybody on YouTube, but basically motovloggers, because I have a couple other channels, like on Jack's Kitchens. Nobody really knows what pots and pans I'm using. Nobody knows this brand of spatula I'm using. But when you're a motovlogger, your bike is probably as much of the content as you are, right? As much as the content providers you are. There has been people that recognized my motorcycle with me with a helmet on. They wouldn't know who I was until you take your helmet off, and they recognize your motorcycle because it is part of your channel. Okay, so the rebranding thing you got to be careful about also, and Toby found, because when you pick a new name, if you can't search for that name. Now here's the trick, and I told Toby, I messaged him, this is nothing against Toby, this is nothing against anybody. Here is the trick. It was very simplistic, that to the point is, when you tell somebody your channel name, like when I tell somebody my channel name, hey, how do we find your YouTube channel? Use the @ symbol and type all one word, Harley Day Rider. It's absolute pinpoint. They can't make a mistake there. Okay. So if you say search Harley Day Rider and it's spaces, then that could be a problem. So I'm just pointing it out there to everybody. So be careful of rebranding your channels. I changed my YouTube channel name once years ago, and I'm so glad I did. Moto Ramblings said. And yeah, so I wanted mine to be HDR Adventures because, guys, remember now, I've started like 10 different channels. They're not all active, of course. And one is called Graybeard Adventures. Now, if you don't remember HDR when he had the beard, well, go back to my shows from like last year. So last summer I grew a full beard, right? It was gray. So I thought, well, Graybeard Adventures would be cool. Miss HDR said, that's awesome because you could do whatever you want, right? I could have put some fishing videos in there. I could have put motorcycle videos in there. I could have put adventure riding in there. Everything could have been in one channel, one hub. But then again, when you do that, I've been watching some pretty good, interesting YouTube stuff lately. And guys, and I was trying to help people at VAM to kind of give them some insight of, not really that I know anything. Okay, let me put that out there first of all. I don't know anything about algorithms. I don't know anything about growing a channel. I do know some basic things that you need to know from people like Bodine, Colin, and Ty taught me when I was with them for a week. People have to be able to find your video. People have to be able to relate to your video, right? So if you put a video out and you put my bestest, funnest time at VAM 23, nobody's ever going to search for that. Most people don't even know what VAM is, okay? That's just a fact around the world. So yeah, your subscribers are going to check that out, that video, and they're going to be like, oh, that's cool, man. He rode the mountain, And I told these guys, I said, put stuff in the title like, riding the tail of the dragon or riding the back of the dragon in the rain. That's exciting, right? And put some tags in there about where you were, Tazewell, Virginia, Tazewell Welcome Center, back of the dragon, the Widowmaker, and because you want to find new people to watch your content. And I was trying to help people do that at dinner. The one man, he's a great guy. He's a great YouTuber. He has a fun channel to watch. And he was tagging his stuff like, VAM23 hashtag 102, VAM23 hashtag 104. You know why he did that, right? That's the number. That's the number that he's using. I think I talked about that last week. So I was trying to help him out a little bit just to clarify that. But why I'm telling you this is, and Bodine turned me on to this stuff more than anybody, really. And watch some of those like tech, and Bob knows what they are, tech channel, TechNet, digital tech, or watch some people out there, that make a living and have a career on YouTube. Not the YouTuber that's making the money, the people that teach you how to do things. And you have to take some notes. And just, you don't need to use all their ideas, but use them as suggestions. I love watching those people. And every time I do, I get a mental note of like, there's something that clicks in your head, right? So even if you're going, and I know we talked to Rogue Glide Andy a lot. Rogue Glide Andy is set in stone. And Mrs. HDR said, she called him out. I'll tell you about that. But he goes, I'm never going to monetize. I don't really care about what happens to the channel. She says, yes, you do, because you bought all that equipment because you want to look different and you want things to do. So you are trying to build, even though in your mind you're trying to tell yourself you're not building. No, he's not going to be mad. He knows, and you told him that. I mean, so it's fair to say that we all deep down, you want people to watch your videos. If you didn't, you wouldn't do them, right? So if I build a house, I eventually want somebody to live in it, right? Don't you think? Anyway, I don't know. So Jarvis Bikerson McStash, hey Jason, hey, good morning, Mr. McStash. Talk to Bodine to understand how to improve your channel, right? So, and Bob will talk to you. He'll give you some pointers. McStash is on Route 66. His motorcycle's in the back of a trailer. He had a mishap with a tire going about 75 miles an hour, and that scares the sweet bejesus out of me. And I say that because you're going down the road 75 miles an hour, just to move along, trying to lighten the load. You got 7 things on your mind. Oh, never mind. So, and all of a sudden, boom, your tire blows out. And now he said he was in the death wobble, right? Everybody see those on YouTube, death wobble. You can't hold it, right? Worse than that, he went down. It's one thing if a tire blows out and you get off the side of the road and somebody can pick you up. That's one thing. But Mr. McStash, we are so glad, buddy. We just hung out with you a week ago that you are okay, right? Ultra classy, will be repaired. You know that. It'll be cleaned up, fixed up. You'll never know it happened. But you were so lucky, and I'm so happy because Mr. McStash, if you don't watch his stuff, he's a great guy. Mr. McStash would do anything for anybody in this world, and I always say bad things happen to good people. And that's just the way life is, right? Bad things happen to good people. That's what happens. I don't know. Okay, it's at the dealership now. New skins and a look over. Yeah, I guess I got to look it all over, right? Make sure nothing else loosened up on the bike or broke down there. But very, very lucky man. So Bodine 52 said, we love shy Mrs. HDR. Yeah, if you guys hear her sometimes, she's in the background, actually in another room in the house, and she listens and she pumps her thoughts in through speakers that are above my head. No, I'm just saying that. That's not true. Rogue Glide Andy said, Harley Day Rider, not mad at Mrs. HDR. I got a 360 camera on the way to have more fun with making videos. Right. And you're making the videos to make them more interesting, right? So that's awesome. But so I'm not going to get into all that. Like I said, I was just trying to be kind, and I told people I don't like to criticize anybody's stuff because my videos are not anything to write home about. It's just I've been doing it since 2015, and I got a handle of, basic idea of understanding. But anyway, there's a lot to be said. You can do a whole entire video on it. Now, I'm not doing it because I'm not an expert. There's plenty of experts out there. I did just see a book that was recommended. And if you guys you may like reading books, you may not, but this book was highly recommended. And it was called, what was it called, HDR? Because I put it immediately into my shopping cart. So I'm going to tell you what it was called here. It's called the YouTube Formula. And, you know, so a guy's channel absolutely highly recommended it. He said he went from having like, 40 views per video when he put them up to now he gets like 20,000 views on every video he puts up. So it's called the YouTube Formula, and it teaches you stuff. Here's the secret with books. As a book is written, the book is good for the day it's written, right? By the time it's published and by the time that book is in our hands and we're reading it, YouTube can totally change their algorithms. They can make a whole new set of rules. So be leery. I mean, I think it's going to give me some pointers. So that's what I need, because I'm always willing to learn something new. I mean, this is our craft, right? To me, this is as much craft as me teaching technology to students. This is as much craft as, what is that floating around? This is as much craft of, welding something or working on your motorcycle and wrenching on it. Creating videos is a craft, and we're all still learning. Trust me. Toner said, "Amen, brother. 100% agree, Mr. McStash." Be a good video for you. That's what Bob always thinks. When anything happens on the bike and you blow a tire, McStash, and you went down or something happened bad, did you film it? Did you got it on video, right? So those videos, that video, I don't know. I don't want to see it. Ty told us that too. He has a video of when he was in a bad accident. And he said it will never see the light of day. So he kept it to always remind him. But yeah, I don't think I could show that stuff. Already started editing what I have. There you go. There you go. McStash is a hero. He's like, I'm getting ready to put that video out there. So the camera came on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Bob put a really good thing out there. Those kind of videos could help somebody. I told you I recently had my front tire changed on my motorcycle, and guys, I didn't know how bad it was, so he took it off. I mean, and it wasn't super bad. I showed you guys a picture of it a few weeks ago. It wasn't super bad, but it was not a tire I wanted to go on a trip to Tazewell, Virginia, and do the twisties with. And thank goodness, because when it rained and we were on the back of the Dragon, Mrs. HDR was on the headset with me. She goes, "Thank God you got that new tire on." She goes, "You probably saved our lives." And that's probably true, because we could have slipped off the edge of the road, went over the cliff, and not been here to talk about that. So, but anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about our mishap coming back on. Because Sunday we left from VAM. Everybody knows that. Monday we made it to Sunday. Sunday we left VAM. Sunday we made it to Maggie Valley, North Carolina. Now, and we went to Mount Mitchell first, which that was a whole story. If you ever want to take somebody on a motorcycle ride that is scared of heights, take them up Mount Mitchell. And yeah, but we'll leave that go. I'm not going to talk about that here. Maybe I'll do a video on it. We'll do a video on trips and tricks on touring motorcycles. Anyway, so we got to Maggie Valley on Monday. Tuesday, we got to go over to the Wheel Street Time Museum, which I got a great video. It's going to be coming. Oh, Monday we went through Wheel Street Time. I'm sorry. Yeah, Monday morning. I got a great video on that, so I'm not going to tell you anything about that. It's very interesting. Miss HR thought we would stay Monday and then leave Tuesday. And I said, no, we're leaving Monday. We had the bike all packed up in the parking lot. And very interesting. I will tell you, if you ever go through Wheel Street Time, if you go down to the museum, I thought was really weird. It's a motorcycle destination, but the whole entire parking lot's all gravel. So if you're graveltized, you may want to park across the street. There's a couple businesses, leave your bike and walk in. I guess you could do that. Most of the guys pulled their bikes in the top gravel parking lot and didn't go over the bridge. A lot of the really good riders, wasn't me, went over the bridge and parked down through by the building. So there's that. So we left Monday. We're coming home. We knew we had 539 miles to make it home. Now, could you make it one day? Yeah, absolutely. You could do it. Were we doing it in one day? No, we were not doing it. So we didn't want to do it in one day. Motor Ramley says, sorry I didn't get to ride with you back this way after VAM. That's okay, Motor Ramley. We knew, Rogue Glide Andy said, and I actually have your number now, I believe. But we did talk about that a little bit. But we were just going to get on the highway and beat feet because we wanted to make it to Mount Mitchell. So that's what we did. And we got to ride the Blue Ridge Parkway. Guys, I've never ridden the Blue Ridge Parkway. It was a ton of fun. It's a cool road going through the mountains. But then you go up to the Mount Mitchell State Park. Guys, it's straight uphill. I mean, you're way, way up on the mountain. And, you know, and you'll see in my video, I do have a video when we were up there. I don't know when that'll come out, but it was like, 25,472 feet above sea level. It was pretty high. No, it wasn't that high. I wanted to jump off of the hang glider. Miss HDR said no. But anyway. So with that said, we broke up. Tuesday when we're coming home. Or Monday we left. We got about halfway. We did about 200 miles of it, 250 miles, stopped, had dinner, got a hotel room, and kind of just crashed out. So Tuesday morning we woke up on our way home. So on our way home, McStashio's issue kind of came back into mind here. On the way home, we're traveling up this highway, and I'm cranking it out there, right? I'm doing 70 miles an hour, man. I'm flying up there, right, on my big old Milwaukee 8 engine and just having a good old time cranking along. Mrs. HDR yells, hole! And I'm like, what? Boom! And the front tire hit into this hole, and the bike dived down forward. Now, we didn't flip over. Thank God. It was all right. It wasn't that big of a hole, but it was a deep hole. The tire went down. The forks went kaboom! And the front shocks bottomed out. You could feel it. We came out of the hole. We had to drive about maybe 10 miles. So we finally found a gas station. She's like, I don't think it broke anything. I said, I was worried about a bent rim, right? I was really thinking about a bent rim. So with that said, I started wondering, and I was riding home and looking. And on the Road Glide, there's a gauge cluster that many of you have Road Glides, right? Well, as I'm looking at my gauge cluster, it looks like when I'm riding, it's leaning to the right, right? Now, Road Glide Andy said they all do this. So Bob took his out yesterday and said, no, it stays perfectly straight. It doesn't lean anytime. It should stay straight because it's fixed to the fairing, or it's fixed to the motorcycle. So being it's leaning, I believe that I either blew a shock. That's a possibility. And when I'm riding, it's like leaning. Bent a fork, but you would think I would feel this when I'm riding. You'd think I'd get that death wobble. It wouldn't feel right? Or I bent the rim, okay? So one of those three things definitely happened. And I don't know what it is. I'm going to take it out today just to test ride to see. But I rode home fine. I rode over 230 more miles to get home. And I made it home. It wasn't like it wasn't pulling to the right or left. I did try to leave go of the handlebars once, and it wanted to go to the right. Normally, my bikes would stay straight on the road. So I don't know. Maybe it threw something in the tire. Maybe I threw a balancing weight. I have no idea. So the bike is going into the shop. Rogue Glide said, check your fender for a dent. There's no dent in the fender, so I don't know about that. I think that's fine. If you have a bent rim, you would feel that immediately, Real Jackie Boy said. I appreciate that. Yeah, see? Managed to stay off the gravel all the way home. It took me 8 hours to get home. It took me 3 hours to get to VAM. I understand that, buddy. Mount Mitchell is the highest point east of the Mississippi, and we found that out. You're right. That's where we were. Motor Rambling took me a while to get home too, 16 hours or 16 on the way back. Okay, so that's good. I didn't bend the rim. Anyway, so long and behold, I decided that, well, if the bike has to go back into the shop, it is, I was thinking maybe, and I wasn't even thinking about buying a new bike. But I went down to a local Harley dealer the other day. I took out a Road Glide ST model with I believe it's a 117 engine, or Jim said it's a 128 engine, or the kid there said it's a 114 engine. And I don't know if the kid really knows what he's talking about too much. He's a young kid. He really doesn't know bikes. But I don't know. The engine was very, very fast, right? But I was looking, and I told them once I started thinking about it a little bit, I told them I'm thinking about buying, like a Road Glide Special would be great. So they didn't have any, of course. I couldn't test ride one, and so that wasn't going to go down. But um, yeah, and I probably will have a video coming out about a dealership experience, and I'm trying to rewrite it. I recorded it on the way home, and guys, believe me, I'm a very positive YouTube channel. I don't want to have any negativity on this channel, so I'm going to redo it because I was pretty pissed after I left, to say the least. Jim knows that. I talked to Jim about it. Jim actually works there. He has no control over selling motorcycles, right? He's their PR guy and marketing guy, um, but anyway, that was neither here nor there. But that, and so I'm thinking, well, if there is something seriously wrong with the bike, and I have to go through the insurance company, or I have to trade the bike in on something different, that's probably what I'll be looking at. Would be the Road Glide Special. I just really, really like the look of them. I like the way the wheelbase is smaller than the Ultra or the Limiteds. So, and it's got that bigger, a little bit bigger front wheel. It sits back a little bit. They just look cool, right? And I think that's what I want to. That's what I'm going for. I want to look cool, right? That's it. Um, plus you'll get the upgrades, right? The new boom box, the this and that. You'll get the other stuff if it has to be traded. Like I said, I have no idea what happened to it. I don't know if it's going into the shop on Tuesday. I don't know if they'll recommend, hey, you call your insurance company, see what they'll do for it. The frame's bent or whatever, right? So I know if the frame's bent, they'll definitely axe it for sure. So we'll see. But anyway, there you go. Motor Rambling said, "Got to go. Son is in the hospital." Oh no, man! Your son was doing so well, buddy. Well, my friend Motor Rambling, time to get well soon from the HDR shop here. Viper6 says, "Nice chat, HDR. Have to go now. Have a great weekend, everyone." Rogue Glide said, "Rogue Glide Special is a bit lower and low profile tires, which are a rougher ride." Yeah, but then again, it looks cool. It looks cool. So, um, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the looking cool. I don't really care about. I don't think it's any rougher ride, though, Andy. I think it's the same ride basically, right? Same bike. So it was either going to be that or a new Road King, and myself and Mr. HDR talked, and the only way I'll get a Road King is if we both decide never to tour on the motorcycle again. And I'm not saying the Road King can't tour, but it's not good for two up touring. So that's just my thought. All right. So there you have it. That's been the week. Like I said, I'll give you guys a report next Saturday on what's going on with the motorcycle, with the Harley. That is kind of nice having the other bike in the garage, right? Because I was able to, when I had to run down to Harley dealer anyway to talk to Jim. At least I had a motorcycle to ride, so that is good to have a secondary bike that you can jump on and just take off. And um, it was good times, and a lot of fun on that bike, man. I put 75 miles on that little bike the other day, and it's like, wow. And that's a feat of magic, man. I'm thinking about putting some touring bags on the back of it. They don't call them saddlebags. They call them panniers. Weird name, I know, but that's what they call them. So I'm thinking about putting that on the back of the bike for some storage, because I got a couple plans for some interesting content. After going through the wheels through time and seeing what people used to travel across the United States on, guys, we are way overspoiled. We are, I would have to say, guys, and this is a very vague statement. I think maybe motorcyclists went to the softer side, right? Because these guys used to ride these hardtails with no shocks, with a spring in the seat across the United States and back with 4 gears. 4 gears. That's pretty amazing stuff, right? Cool stuff. Mother Aaron says, "Thanks. Different issues. He's got a gut problem. I hope he gets well soon, buddy. Hope you get him to the point where he's eating well, and I'll just leave it at that because I know we've chatted quite a bit about your son. So, and no matter how old our children get, you're still going to worry about them, just like you were cradling them in your arms, and they were, you were changing their diapers. Because when we look at our kids, and they're in their 30s now, my son's 38, my daughter's going to be 28, um, two other children's 32 and 30. We see these kids, when they're running around in ponytails in your house, and doing silly stuff. My son used to ride on skateboards and get all banged up, and bicycles and whatever. So, but with that said, I mean, it doesn't matter if your kids are 80, right? And if you're still around, you won't be around when they're 80, I'm sure. But let's say your kids are like mine, say when they're 50. Hopefully I'll still be here. Um, you're going to still feel the same way and want to protect them. So motor rambling, good job to you, buddy. Like I said, your son will be just fine. He'll be coming along here and getting taken care of. Goofy bastard, good morning. Glad to have you pop in there when you're going to bed. You play in there earlier. I just missed you. I'm sorry for sure. But so we're going to get off of here this morning. Everybody's checking out, so I'm going to check out and be done with the show. So, Rogue Lion said, gotta go mow grass. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hopefully not your grass. If you've seen Roguelite Andy's hill that he mows, you would tell him to buy a couple goats. I told him to buy a couple goats. Quit mowing that yard. All right. Take care, everybody, and I will talk to you next week. Until then, as I always tell you, remember, ride your own ride. Be safe out there, everybody. Very, very important. Remember your T-clocks. Check your bike over and over and over and over and over. Jack it up every now and then. Rotate the tires and have a peek and see what you think of them, right? As Bodine said, if you can't see the head of a penny, if you can't see Lincoln's head with the penny, it's time to replace your tires. So, but you are going to have blowouts because there is potholes out there that's going to suck your motorcycle up, bend your forks, bend your rims, and probably could have even been bent my frame. So we'll see what happens. All right, till next week, take care, everybody. Ride your ride, be safe. Harley Day Rider be down out in the beautiful HDR studios here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Take care. I'll see you next week.